Welcome back to Bill with the Plan with Coach David here. Welcome to episode number 8. So excited that you're here. Yeah, today, I've been doing a little bit of renovation at home, and it really got me thinking about how you set up your business. This is kind of a combination between what I'm doing at home and one of my latest meetings I had with a young entrepreneur. Great ideas, great ambition, but no plan on how he wants to grow the business. Yes, he knows what he wants it to look like, but he doesn't really know what it's actually going to look like while he's trying to get where he wants to go. So, what I want to talk about today is build with the end in mind. If you've heard any of my stuff in the past, you may have heard me talk about if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And that's really what I'm talking about here. When I'm doing a renovation project, I need to know what the end goal is. I need to know what I'm shooting for. And then from there, I can reverse engineer and know what steps I need to take to make sure that I'm going to get where I'm going. Now, right now what I'm doing is I'm putting in a washroom. A new washroom in a much bigger room, so I'm able to take some of that room and allocate it to be a washroom. Now, I spent quite a bit of time figuring out where the tub was going to be. Was it going to be a tub and a shower, standalone shower? Where was the toilet going to go? Where's the vanity going to go? That type of stuff. A lot of discussion with my wife about what that will look like, a little bit of back and forth, and then finally we were able to come to consensus to what that bathroom was going to look like. Knew exactly where the toilet was going to go. We knew we were just going to do a tub with a shower, and we were going to use some of that excess space to be a linen closet. And then, of course, we knew where the vanity was going to go. And at that point, I was able to start knowing what I needed to buy, how I needed to lay out the plumbing, where the electrical was going to go, and then I could start building from there. And that brings me to this conversation I had very recently with a very young, very enthusiastic landscape business owner. Very young, very ambitious. He knew what he wanted, and he just went out there and started his business. He had some money, so he bought a truck outright, and then he knew a bit on how to do what he did, and he was learning the rest as he was building the business. And then I was talking to him. He'd been in business for 3 or 4 months at this point, and I said, "So, do you have a business account?" "No." "Do you have WSIB?" "No." "Do you have an HST account?" "No." "Do you have business insurance?" "No." Like, he didn't have any of these things set up. He was ambitious and he went out there to start it, and kudos for him to do that. But where I'm getting with this, it's like if I was just to pick up, the tools and start working on my bathroom without knowing where everything was, I'd be doing a lot of things backwards. Things wouldn't work right. And at the end, I might have a bathroom, but it wouldn't look anywhere near as good as the bathroom that I ended up building by putting in the planning first. So that's my recommendation out there for every new business owner, or even if you've been in business for a while. Where do you want to take this business? What do you want it to look like? And once you know what that looks like, now you need to figure out, okay, what steps do I need to take to make sure I'm going to get there? With this young gentleman I was talking about, talked to him a little bit about what he needs to do. In fact, he didn't even have his business registered at that time. So you need to make sure that you put some fundamentals in place so that you can grow your business, that it can be successful. Now, for a business that's been in been going for a while. You've already got it registered. You've got a business account. You might even have a bookkeeper in place, which is awesome. You should definitely make sure you keep track of all your accounting. Be CRA compliant, because you don't want any hiccups from them. But what happens if you get hit by a bus? Then what? Are you able to continue to generate revenue if you're laying in the hospital? Not sure. A lot of people can build a business, and yes, it can be profitable. As long as you work hard and you do a good job and perform a good service or deliver a good product, you can build a decent, profitable business. But this goes back. Now, what happens if you get hit by a bus? What is your business worth at that point? Does your revenue immediately stop? Or have you set your business up to be uber successful? One that you can walk away from and still be able to generate revenue. That's what I like to help my clients build, is businesses that not only are profitable, but that can run without their day-to-day input, if indeed that is where they want to go. Yes, some business owners want to be fairly active, then I also help them set that up so that their interactive time with their business is high level, building the business to a different level as opposed to just doing the day-to-day. Because let's face it, most of us started the business because we wanted financial freedom. And that financial freedom typically gives us time freedom. But if we don't set up that business and we get hit by a bus, then that financial freedom, well, never mind the time freedom, but the financial freedom evaporates immediately. And then you're going, well, what do I do now? So, as I do with any renovations, yes, I'm just a home renovator. I don't do this for a business, but you got to start with the end in mind. What do we want this business to look like? Where is your toilet and your tub going in your vanity? Where does that go in your business? Just using this analogy to hopefully make it a much easier way to imagine it. So my challenge to you right now is start with the end in mind. Make sure you know which roads to take to make sure you get yourself there. Start with that end in mind. Start putting down the steps on what it takes to get there. Until next time, Coach David out.